Hey, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Ultimate Affiliate Marketing, and if you're on the YouTube watching the replay, we're going to do all this sort of thing. This is my thing now. I do like hashtag jazz hands so for those people which can't see it, go and check the YouTube video out as well. You'll totally understand what I'm going on. But we have a new guest today. Now, I've known this guy for a little while now. He helps digital creators, digital product course creators, and all that good stuff. Making sure that they are being as profitable as possible. And obviously in his journey that's been on the online world for like the last 3 or 4 years, he's now helping people generate leads and clients through social media. So without further ado, Mark Nicholson, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Paul. Pleasure to be here.
I was really trying to sort of like get an amazing spiel out there, but as for those people who don't know, I was a little bit late coming into the interview myself, so it's your apologies for my tardiness. But so just tell me, man, you say you've been on the online world for about 3-4 years. What were you doing before that?
So before I got in the online world, I was doing everything. So I was one of these, early 20-year-olds who just tried everything and anything, loads of different jobs, loads of different types of businesses, anything just to try and get out of the rat race, really. My whole family were pretty much just 9-to-5 workers. My dad worked in the factory. My brother worked with my dad in the factory. My mum, she's always been pretty much a stay-at-home mum. So
Yeah.
there's never really been much. I've never known anything else apart from that life. And that's what I thought I was kind of destined for, until I went into the workplace and I was like, hell no, this ain't for me. No matter what I tried, and there's probably loads of people out there who can resonate with me. Just nothing stuck. I didn't enjoy anything. I was sick of being told what to do by people who didn't know what they were doing themselves.
Yeah.
So it's just always a nightmare, which is what led us to trying to find my own way with my own business.
Yeah.
As you already know. So, from then, I just kind of got into the online marketing world. The rest is history.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And I totally get where you're coming from with that. I mean, when you start working for yourself online, I think there's a shift that goes on that makes you unemployable to anybody else, because then you're so used to doing everything yourself and you being your own boss, right? And there's this cliche years ago about be your own boss and all this sort of good stuff. But the reality of it is that it'd be very difficult then to transfer to something else and go into like a job, if you like, and have people telling you what to do all the time. And I can totally understand where you're coming from, where if you are working for someone else and they're trying to tell you what to do, but they don't know what they're doing themselves.
Yeah, honestly.
So I get it. So what was your very first experience of coming online? What was the thing that attracted you in the first place?
So for me, it's always been the whole freedom thing. So wanting to have a life of freedom, just to be able to do what I want to do, kind of like whenever I want to do it. Because being in a job, they tell you when you go on holiday, they tell you when you can go on your breaks, when you can have a life. They tell you when you can have your own life, and that for me was just, I was just sick of it. It just didn't fit with what I was wanting to do and the type of jobs I was in. But one of my jobs, it was like factory work, so it was different shift patterns. I did call center work, I did shop work, I did sales work. So I did a lot of different things, and none of them just fit and just didn't connect. So when I first got into the online world and started making money from it, there's a big, that was the main thing for me. And then realized, well, actually, I'm kind of completely free now to do whatever I want to do. That was almost the moment for me where I was like, right, well, this is something I need to really be all in at and just kind of go with and be, because this is what I can see my future being.
Yeah.
And you're living the dream right now. You've moved from the UK now to Spain, so you're proof that this works. You're not tied down.
I appreciate that, and believe me, I am not tied down. I've moved around about 5 or 6 times since I've been here, only in a few months, but that's a completely different story. We're not going to go into that one.
Right.
And what's interesting there is that back in my early 20s, I did the factory work. I did the 12-hour shifts from 6 in the morning till 6 at night, and in the winter it was brutal because I barely saw the sun. And
yes.
it's tough doing that piecework, repetitive work over and over and over again. And I don't know about you, but I had this thing where I thought I could do better than this. I could do more than what I'm doing right now. I don't want to be stuck in that mentality of you go to work from 9 until 5, you collect your wage, and then you sit on the sofa, crack open a beer and watch TV all night type of mentality. And then you dream of a crappy holiday maybe once every year or once every 2 years. That wasn't the life that I wanted. And that wasn't what I felt. And I'm getting that from you as well. That's kind of like you're thinking, I can do better.
Yeah, well, the worst thing that happened to me was with the factory work. My dad and my brother both worked in a factory near the village that we lived in, and they got laid off. Just one day, just got laid off. Factory closed down. That was it. And that moment really hit me. I was like, how can anyone allow their livelihood to be in the hands of anyone else apart from their own? And for me, when people say to me, but entrepreneurship is risky, get a job, it's safe and secure. Like it really isn't. No. So you can get laid off whenever you want. Anything that happened to the company, the business owner can just decide to shut doors one day, and that's it. Nothing has to happen to the markets. I mean, just look right now. How many businesses are shut down? How many people are furloughed? If it wasn't for the government, all those people would be really messed up. Whereas, I mean, we've still kind of got an income coming in. At least we can still kind of do our own thing. We can pivot anywhere we want. We can do whatever we want. So that's the beauty about it for me. And when it happened to my family, and we went for like 8 months without any income coming in, it was just, it was really, really hard at the time. And that's, I think I was 18 at the time. So I was still doing my kind of A levels plus working in shop work at the time. And it was just, So that's why I jumped from so many different jobs trying to find what I was passionate about. Nothing stuck.
No, nothing stuck. And I think that's, you've touched on some really important things there, is that, taking control of your own destiny is so important, because like you said, we're almost brainwashed growing up. You've got to go to school, then you've got to go to college, then you've got to go get a job, then you've got to have a family, then you've got to do this and do that and the other. And then one day, maybe in the next 45 to 50 years, you get to retire on half as much money that you barely survived on before. And then you wait until you die. Well, that doesn't sound like a very fulfilled life to me. It doesn't sound particularly attractive if you were sitting there with, potentially like your 5-year-old child and going, this is what you got to look forward to, right? So, and it's not, is it? Because when you're 5 and 6 and they go, what do you want to do when you want to grow up? And they say astronaut or fireman or policeman or, for me, it was always Spider-Man, right? That was weird.
Spider-Man.
I wanted to be Spider-Man when I grew up. Who knew, right? I'm still working on it. I pretty much get the crawling right on the floor. Yeah, I can do that. Crawling on the floor any weekend, right? No problem.
Just a few beers sorted.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it works out. So tell me a little bit more about what your particular sort of focus is right now.
So focus right now is, like you correctly mentioned, is helping kind of digital product and course creators who are pretty much either just getting started on their journey, don't know where to go. I mean, there's a lot of people out there telling them which directions to go in, what markets to target, what different types of strategies to use. And some of it's good, some of it's not so good advice, in my opinion. So I like to help these type of people get on a path which allows them to create an income like immediately. Because I've been told this a lot, and I hear a lot of other people kind of talking it. One of the biggest thing that gets at me is when somebody's a newbie and they're looking to create a course potentially, or they're looking to kind of get one-to-one clients or so sorts. People tell them to kind of go after clients with their like $3,000-$4,000 price points. And if you've got no testimonials, if you've got no case studies, if you've got no evidence, it's so hard to kind of build that. So I kind of allow things to grow and happen a lot more organically. And be honest, for me, what really hit home with me when I first read something, it was in Russell Brunson's book. I think it was in .com Secrets or Expert Secrets, when he specifically talks about how for ClickFunnels. He buys customers at like, $1 or $2 because he tracks them into his low value products, and then he upsells them. He never ever sells ClickFunnels ever, where his competitors are paying $300-$400 like per software customer. And that for me really stuck. And I was like, wow, if he can do it, why can't we then use this same strategy and same format, building people up through a self-liquidating offer funnel, and which allows them to get testimonials, case studies at a lower price point and still make money, build their email list for free, technically, because they're making money immediately. And then obviously scale them up to then eventually sell the higher ticket products and services. So yeah, that's my main focus now, helping people kind of go through that journey.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And I just wanted to mention a couple of things there. Was quite interesting. I was on the Clubhouse app yesterday, and it was about course creators and stuff like this. And a lady came on and said that, she was thinking about building a course, but she didn't really know where to start. And the first person that answered was, connect with me and buy my course on how to make a course. And it was like, he's just gone straight in. Do you know what I mean? There's no relationship there. This person has appeared, asked a question, and someone else from the other side of the world has just said, "Oh, just buy my course from me." Right? It just, the gap became so void, and the quietness in the room and the tone from the other speakers just changed completely, because someone else came in afterwards and says, "No, I think she was asking this and this, not can I buy your course off you?" Right. And the one that had mentioned about getting the course, she was like, "Oh, right, okay. Well, there's plenty of resources online." The help that she was all hyped up about giving her and stuff, when she thought she'd got a lead, where she thought she'd got someone to buy a course from her, just like with a snap of the fingers, it disappeared. Her interest just vanished almost. And it's such a shame, because she potentially could have helped that person and eventually got to a point where she would have bought a course from her, or a program from her, or training or mentorship or anything like that. But it was just that switch straight away, which I think I left the room shortly after, just because I thought it was just awkward, right? And like you said, I mean, even from my perspective, I mean, I have like 2 or 3 courses sitting in the background, which are high ticket courses. And I've seen and I've heard so much advice about getting them out there, using the YouTube ads, doing a webinar and all this sort of thing. But how realistic is taking completely cold market and then turning around to them saying, "Well, this is a result I can get. It's going to cost you $2,000. It's quite a big thing for a lot of people. So
the thing is, though, people have to spend $2,000 on an ad campaign to know whether or not that's a profitable funnel ad campaign. Exactly. And so they generate so for webinars, as you know yourself, if your main traffic source is driving people into a webinar and allowing the webinar to upsell them, to sell them on your courses, then a webinar lead is quite expensive, compared to like a $7 product lead type of thing. They'll be selling that. At least in with a webinar, only so many show up to the webinar, only so many buy. You might not make your money back until next month or the month after. Whereas if you're a newbie, it only has £300-400, let's say, disposable income to spend on marketing every month. They've got to pay for software, they've got to then pay for leads, they've got to do this, they've got to do that. They've got no evidence, they've got no social proof. They're the type of people that'll spend $100 and think, okay, well, this doesn't work. Well, realistically, it's not that. It's just you haven't tested the funnel enough. But we're using the type of strategies that Russell talks about in his book, and these self-liquidating offer strategies allows people to build that email list and provide value upfront and immediate, but yet make an income immediately as well from selling lower ticket digital products and services. Not so much services, but definitely digital products. And then obviously scaling people up through a funnel to increase your average order value, and then then inviting them to come to your webinar later on.
Yeah, I understand that. Building that
once they're on your list,
building that relationship up first with trust, giving the value, and obviously then ascending them through a value ladder. It makes a lot of sense. And things that I've heard recently is that even the big guys are now moving more towards using a lower ticket front end to build lists of buyers rather than just lists of opt-ins, because I mean, I've mentioned this so many times myself. I would rather have an email list of just 500 people that are buyers than an email list of 100,000 of opt-ins, right?
Yeah.
It's just the way that you can monetize that list going forward just is, you know, beyond all our scales. So what would you say to someone at the moment, right? They're thinking about it, they've got this idea in their head, where do they go next?
So if they're kind of brand new to the industry, they've got an idea, they want to launch a course or they want to launch a product, but they've got no experience.
Yes.
Oh, I think now we're talking from square one here, yeah?
Yeah, we're going
square one. So originally, I mean, I always follow a format that, you know, you need to build up your audience. Obviously, you need to have traffic strategies in place and you need to have your funnel. Yeah. That's my type of thing. I call it the ATF method. Okay, the ATF framework, audience, traffic, funnels.
Nice.
So each obviously ATF. So that's typically the model I teach people, and then obviously we'll have different components in every type of step. So first off, obviously these people need to kind of look at building an audience of people who know, like, and trust them, because that's how we're first going to get about doing it. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to create a low ticket value product. Could be a Canva template, it could be a cheat sheet, it could be a guide. Things like that generally work better than trainings. So I'd recommend people stay away from like ebooks or free courses. Focus more on things that people can actually use. So you might have seen, Paul, a lot of people at the moment are selling social media templates or social media ideas for the next 365 days. Yeah, and these are great because I've been there.
I've done it. I've purchased these things, and it's so generic, it's scary. Just you think, oh great, yeah, I've got all my templates now for the next 30 days, and if I carry on paying $97 a month, they're going to give me another 30 days. Well, do you know what? It's just all drivel that no one really is interested in, you know, and it's kind of like waste of money. Forget it.
Yeah. So a lot of them definitely are waste of money, and but anything like templates that people can use and physically use the information to implement, whether or not it's a cheat sheet or a guide, and start for $7 or something, and then have it. The thing is, though, it takes about a day to create this product, whereas it takes months or a month to create a full-on blown course. Yeah. So if you can create something like this, immediately help your target audience, and maybe drive them into a group or a community where you can continue to build that relationship with them. Because then on your email list, and they're also on your community, and provide more value, and things will just organically happen and organically grow. And the more digital products you create, then obviously you can add them to your value ladder. They can become bump offers, they can become upsells, and so on until you scale people up to your high ticket course, which by that time hopefully will have created.
And I guess along the way, and again, the things that I've picked up on is that if your buyers will tell you what they want. So it almost helps you build the course, because you can interact with them and ask them what they're struggling with and what they'd like to overcome. And guess what? Hey, look, I can answer that, and I can build a product around it and hand it to them. So yeah, I totally understand it.
Yeah, which is why building that group and that community and these tools, that they all kind of get added to the course anyway, so they become assets within the course itself. But yet you're not kind of spending months building a course with no one to sell it to at the end of it. Once it's ready, you've got an email list of buyers, not leads. You've got a group full of potentially buyers as well. You've got people who know, like, and trust you, people who have had value from your products. So, and potentially you might have even made a profit from selling those products if you've done your funnel right, increasing the average order value as people go through it. So making money for getting leads is quite a good thing.
Well, it sounds bloody marvelous to me, actually, that does. And I think, I mean, one of the key things is that, I mean, people may or may not have heard of you, especially those people which are on the podcast, obviously, because I aim the podcast towards affiliate marketers that aren't just starting out, they are just starting to get results. And I found that there is a progression from being an affiliate marketer to actually like a product creator, because then you can take ownership a little bit more. And that's the main reason why I got you on. I sort of like picked you out specifically for this purpose, right? So I'm going to make you feel nice and special now, right? It's because I know that what you can offer is the next stage for a lot of people that are in my audience, where they can then start getting that, they don't feel overwhelmed or have the imposter syndrome where they feel they can't go and charge $2,000-3,000 for a course because they're just starting. They have no track record. They've got no success really to show yet, or the testimonials or anything like that. So this is an ideal point where I wanted to take some people that are listening to help them make that leap into the next step, to start building that up. Because even as affiliate marketers, like even the top guys, they don't act as affiliate marketers. They have their own product, but on the back end, there's a load of affiliate offers, right?
Yeah.
I've done it myself. I've given away lead magnets and stuff like that. But guess what? You need this product to use it. And that product is an affiliate product. So I'll get a commission on the back end. So I'm giving something away in that instance. Or in other cases where I've had products where it's a paid product, it's a low ticket item, but then on the back end to use it, they still need to use the affiliate product, right? So you're kind of getting things on both ends. So it's getting that and packaging it up. And again, I mean, I've probably made 2,000 mistakes along the way very easily. And again, this is another reason why I wanted to get you on the show, because I knew you'd be able to explain it to people and help them when it comes to packaging it up. So if there's anyone out there listening which does feel that maybe they're ready for this, or even if they're not quite ready but want to know the frameworks, want to understand the whole process, what's the best way of them getting in touch with you and getting started?
So if you want to get in touch with me directly, just fire me an email. That's probably the best way, which is mark at manicholson.com. Or feel free to come and join the group. And inside the community, I'm always sharing type of useful information, tips, and freebies, stuff like that as well. And I'm going live every now and then as well. So if anyone wants to kind of do that, feel free to do it. It's completely free.
Excellent. Well, what I'll do is I will collect up all the information, because I think you've sent it to me anyway, so I've got that. And if you're listening on the podcast, it will be all in the show notes. And I can't say this enough. Please use the show notes on the podcast, right? And if you're watching on YouTube, then obviously that's all the links are going to be there in the description. And I highly recommend you not only get in touch with Mark to start with, or if you feel that's a little bit too much personal, because it is a thing for someone to really raise their hand up and go, I need help. But it's a lot easier for them to join a Facebook group, for example, and check it all out themselves, almost in the shadows, so they don't feel like they're quite sticking their hands up, fully, but they can just get in there and get to know you and your world and, and all that good stuff. So I'll include all the links into the description on the YouTube and also in the show notes in the podcast as well. But for now, Mark, it's been awesome, man. I've actually really enjoyed it. I love how you put things across. Again, light bulb started going off for me personally, so it's all good, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's been good fun. I always love chatting with online entrepreneurs.
All right, cheers. Thanks again.
For having us, Paul.